Patti and I met 50 years ago. There was this charming lady standing next to me who had a baby in her arms. Well, I asked her if I could hold the baby. And across the room, Mama's radar went up in Patti's eyes, and she saw somebody across the room holding her baby, someone she didn't know. So she rushes across the room to get acquainted. And that's how Patti and I met.
Bob gave me my first job out of Purdue at the Rothstone Corporation. I cannot think of two finer persons that actually live your Christian beliefs without compromise. Bob and Patti are very generous with their financial support of worthy causes. They're also very good at fundraising for those worthy causes from other people. I can remember one situation when I was working for Bob at the Rothstone Corporation that shortly before lunchtime, he stopped by my desk and said, "Gary, before I leave to lunch, I've forgotten my wallet. Could you give me $10? Well, when the president of your company asks you to borrow $10, of course, what do? So I reached down my pocket and I gave him the $10. He took it and said, "Thank you very much." He said, "The Boy Scouts are in the middle of their annual fund drive, and I'll know that they'll appreciate this contribution. I'm just glad it was for the Boy Scouts." That's a true story. He'd do that, and he'd, "Could you have $5 or something? Thanks, I'm giving it to the Boy Scouts." And he always worded very carefully that it wasn't a borrow. He just said, "Do you have $5?"
Don Blake, who worked in my lab, a wonderful Christian person, introduced me to Bob and Patti. And Bob and Patti and my wife and I, Marianne and I, met in my living room in 1983 and formed Ash Medical. That was the first of a series of companies dedicated to the same overall goal of making life better for people with kidney disease. Without Bob and Patti, I wouldn't have ever had a way to commercialize any of these wild ideas that I had. I learned so much from Bob and Patti in the process, not only about business, but about life, about Christian principles, about dedication to the people around you and the community.
So I went to meet with Bob and interview him in his office, and I said, "So how does your Christian faith make a difference in the way that you carry out your work?" And he spun around in his office chair, grabbed his Bible off of the desk behind him, flipped it open to Colossians chapter 3, and he said, "I'll tell you exactly how my faith informs the way I do my work." In Colossians 3, he pointed out there are principles that guide the way that we think about the work we're doing our work as if it's for God and not just for the people around us to impress or please them. Principles of how to honor the people who serve over us, who are in leadership, what it means to honor their authority and respect them and seek to do our work faithfully. And also principles of how to honor the people who serve us and work for us and what it means to treat them fairly and with honor and with dignity. And Bob gave example after example of how he sought to integrate those principles into his work. It was really moving for me to have a chance to hear that.
The unique thing about Patti is that she has amazing energy, more energy than any of the rest of us have. I get emails from her at 1 a.m. Of course, I get them the next day, but I never call Patti before 8 o'clock. Her schedule is so busy. She's here, she's there, she's going, she's coming, she's doing this. It's an exhausting schedule, and somehow Bob and Patti are able to do that.
Playing piano has been something that Patti Truitt has commented on when she's visited us, enjoying hearing me doing it in the morning, which I often do for my wife Jan. Through the years, the Truitts and the Dixons have enjoyed a wonderful relationship. Probably 40 years, over 40 years we've known each other. In Lafayette, we discovered each other at Covenant Church. Our kids were in the same youth group. They were in sports together in the summertime. They attended Christian school for a while, and Bob was their basketball coach.
One day in the neighborhood, they showed up with this great, big, ugly, rusted out RV. And I went over and I said, "Where did you get this thing?" And Bob said, "Well, one of Patti's clients just couldn't pay the bill, so they offered to give us this RV instead." And I said, "Bob, what are you going to do with it?" He says, "Well, we thought we could go to the Purdue games and tailgate." I said, "Well, as long as they're local, maybe so. But I'll tell you, most of us would have charged somebody to take this RV off of their hands. Not Bob and Patti. When there's someone in need, they figure out a way to do it.
Mary Jo and I have been dear, dear friends, close friends of Bob and Patti Truitt for more than 50 years. And when I think of Bob and Patti Truitt, I think of family, I think of church, generosity, serving others, caring, cheerleaders. They truly are community cheerleaders. The Truitts' Christian values, their intellect, their professionalism, their determination, but most of all, the sincere concern they demonstrate for the well-being of others sets them apart. They make community service part of their daily lives.
The amazing thing to me is Bob and Patti care so deeply about the people around them, their family, but also anybody that they are involved with or close with has their utmost attention, not only to what their current goal is, but how they're doing as a person, and also how they're doing spiritually. I don't think there's a philanthropic organization in Lafayette that doesn't have some relationship to Bob and Patti. It's amazing how many things that they've been great sponsors of.
She also has served on many boards and persuaded me to do things along the way. One of the things she did is, of course, she went to law school while she had small children. She and Bob acted in theater productions. They were in Barefoot in the Park, and she was in Steel Magnolias. So there are all kinds of things that Patti and Bob did. She received the Outstanding Hoosier Award from the governor.
There's a sense in which you could kind of take every part of Bob's life and draw a line from it to his faith in Jesus. I think about the way he conducts his work, the way he lives out his family, the intentionality with his kids and his grandkids, and how he seeks to love them and equip them for life. But I also think of some of the ways that Bob has served as a mentor for younger leaders coming up in our community. I think of some of the ways that quietly he has sought behind the scenes to work to build bridges across racial lines and to help bring about racial reconciliation in our community.
Somewhere along the way, my wife Jan and I discovered that Patti and Bob and Jan and Brent were married on the same day in 1963. And so since that discovery, we've made it an annual effort to commemorate that with a joint dinner, sort of an anniversary dinner for the four of us. And that's been a special bonding experience too. I would like to say that the Truitts are among the most generous, most loving, most caring, most spirit-filled people that you'd ever want to meet. The principle-centered life that they live is really an inspiration for everybody they come in contact with.
There are different boards that he's served on that are a direct expression of his Christian faith. I think about his efforts to protect the lives of young ones and the unborn. And every single one of those parts of his life all point back to this single defining reality for Bob, which is his Christian faith.
Without question, Bob and Patti Truitt are the embodiment of the Boy Scout law, and they are ideal recipients of the 2018 Good Scout Award. Congratulations, Bob and Patti.
Patti, congratulations on the award. You deserve it, and I'm so proud of you and to be your friend.
Mary Jo and I join all of you in saluting two Good Scouts, Bob and Patti Truitt.
Your support has been unconditional, very generous, and I know we're not the only ones that you've reached out to and helped. You are both role models in everything that you do in your life. We thank you for that and love you dearly.
Well, Bob and Patti, congratulations on together being Good Scouts. I think there's no organization that I'd be more pleased to find had the support of Bob and Patti than Boy Scouts.
Bob and Patti, congratulations. This is an incredible honor, and it's a really fitting honor for the two of you. I love how available your lives are to make a difference, and clearly you have. God is using you in amazing ways. So we celebrate with you. Congratulations.